Hey y'all!
Hey Gallivanters.
So today we wanted to talk to you about something that's not a fun subject, but definitely one you need to know, be prepared for, and what to do. And that is what to do if you lose your wallet and or your passport while you're abroad. You know, it's a sinking feeling when you come to the realization that you maybe have no more money, you don't have your passport, maybe you've got a few euros in your pocket, and that's it. So we just want to give you a few tips on what to do, how to handle it so that you can keep going with your adventure and still enjoy your trip.
So number one, don't panic. You know, it happens, it can happen to anybody. You think it's not going to happen to you, but it could happen to you. Take for instance, as most of you well know, when we were in Berlin, I left my phone in a taxi cab, and unfortunately in my phone it has like a small area for credit cards. And so I had all my travel credit cards in there. And so, yeah.
And your driver's license.
And my driver's license.
Yep.
So yeah, the first thing is don't panic. I won't say that I didn't at first, but then you realize, okay, you know, you got to get a handle on the situation. And if you're in a non-English speaking country, what you can do is find a local English speaker. You can go to the local tourist office. You can even go to your hotel. I know that when I lost my phone, I had some problems, you know, speaking with the cab companies and the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the front desk helped me and called.
Yeah.
Because when I tried to call, they thought I was playing a prank on them and they hung up on me. So
True story.
True story.
Yeah.
So yeah, just, you know, try and find someone, even if you've met fellow travelers.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you can get with them and maybe they can help you.
Yeah, because and this goes to our next step. The next step would be to file a police report. And, you know, in most of Europe, they speak some English,
Right.
so you're probably going to get by, but, you know, depending on where you are and all of those things, if you know, having somebody who speaks the language better can, you know, maybe make you feel better about it. But you definitely want to go file a police report. First of all, like, again, to bring this up for a third time,
Yeah.
when she lost her phone in Germany, because it had a driver's license in there, they consider driver's license, obviously it's a legal form of ID. They required her to fill out her police report.
Right.
But, you know, if you've got anything else that was stolen, or you're going to maybe file with a travel insurance company, if perhaps you had, like, you know, a Eurail pass or something like that, you will need that police report documentation. And I think you may need it as well, or it certainly would help your case when you have to go get a new passport. So filing a police report is a must.
Yeah. So I would say the next step is get online. You know, get online at your hotel. If you're in between hotels, maybe go to a library. Just find some type of internet access so you can get online to find the local embassy, or, you know, you can get in contact with your credit card companies. And if that fails and you don't have any access to that, then, you know, call some folks back home and say, hey, can you help me? Can you get me numbers? Can you get me,
Yeah.
you know, email addresses, whatever it is you need, so that way you can get things taken care of.
Yep. And then when you're online, actually, you need to be thinking about, if it's your passport, that needs to be a priority, because A, you can't leave that country without it, and, you know, it'll take a little bit of time, and depending on where you are, you're going to need to find the local embassy or consulate, and unless you're in a capital city, you may end up having to travel from one place to another in that country to get to your embassy.
Right.
So you got to figure all that out too, and you're going to be able to look all that up online and get contact information and so forth. Now, if as an American citizen going to the U.S. Embassy, they usually have a 24-hour, you know, emergency hotline, and you can call them and explain your situation. And usually they can get a passport turned around at least within a couple of days. If you need it sooner than that, you can obviously plead your case when your travel's coming up, but you're still going to have to go in person. You still have to pay for a passport, and that's $145.
Yeah.
So now you've got another issue is if you've lost your wallet as well, how do you pay for it? So they can, at least U.S. embassies will coordinate with somebody back home to wire the money directly to them so that you can get your passport. But you also have to go through the process of paperwork. You still got to go and get a passport photo taken and have all of that with you when you get to the embassy, to get the process started. So just be prepared that there's going to be a lot of steps and all that. But getting that passport is obviously going to be super important if you want to leave the country you're in, come home, or, even just to check into hotels.
Right.
Most everywhere we've had, I think, has checked our passports, but I know in Italy, everywhere we've been in Italy, they've taken them and made copies and all of that. So,
and it's not just the person that made the reservation.
no, it's everybody.
It's everybody.
So, just be aware you're going to need it if you're planning on just moving hotels. Most places. So yeah, ultimately you're stuck without that passport if you're a citizen from another country.
So the next step would be to cancel your credit and debit cards within 2 days of them being lost or stolen. A quick tip on this is that's why we say make copies of your debit, credit cards, your passport, and have them somewhere in the cloud.
Yeah.
So that way you have access to them. If something like this happens, you have all the information you need right in front of you. You also need to have the numbers from the back of your cards. That way, if something like this does happen, you have the 800 number or you have the international number. On some cards, I know that they have the actual international number on the back of them because not all the time, but a lot of times the 800 numbers won't work in another country. So you need to make sure that you have all that information stored somewhere. And then the reason you need to cancel within 2 days is because they limit your liability to $50.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you get all these things taken care of, make sure that you get new cards ordered and the old ones canceled. That way you're not getting any charges and then you don't have to fight with the credit card companies about charges.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is that most of the time credit card companies can get new credit cards to you within 2 or 3 days. That depends obviously on your account, what kind of account you have, who the bank is that issues the card, all of those things. But it is possible that you could get a card issued, at least a credit card issued and delivered internationally. Now, debit cards, I think, typically they will only send those to your home. So your challenge there is going to be, if it is a debit card that you need, you're probably going to have somebody at home, overnight that to you or get that to you some other way.
Right. And another tip is, we would say, make sure you have some kind of cash stored somewhere, whether it be back at your hotel, in a different bag, wherever. And, make sure you have, I would say, U.S. currency and the local currency of where you are.
Yeah.
So that way you have some money and you're not just left with nothing.
Absolutely. And what we do, we don't, as Trace mentioned her cards, obviously we were still okay because I had cards. So we keep things separate and we mix it up. Like I may carry some of her stuff, she may carry some of mine.
Yes.
And we don't have it all with us all the time.
Right.
And we do not carry our passports with us. I know that a lot of places will say you have to have your passport with you. And there may be some places that do require that. I would say that's, if it's anywhere, it's going to be more Eastern Europe or the Middle East than anywhere. We do not carry our passports with us. We do have access to copies of them in the cloud. So if somebody asks to see them when we're out, we can certainly get to them. But in general, it's not a great idea to carry all of your cards, all of your cash, or your passports with you.
Right.
anytime. So I think that brings us to our final point, our final step in the process.
Right. And that would be get in touch with your travel insurance company.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, depending on what kind of policy you have, they may cover lost documents, so that may help you cover the cost of the passport and even the cost of getting to the embassy or consulate if that's what you have to do to get a passport.
Right.
So just check your travel insurance policy and see what's covered and what's not. And actually, I'm going to link here a card to our video that talks all about the different kinds of travel insurance company. If you haven't already seen that, go up and watch that because it does give a lot of great information. And we've also got a link below where you can compare different travel insurance policies from several companies. So travel insurance is something that's super important. We always carry it. We carry annual policies, and it will cover you depending on, like the annual policy covers us domestically and internationally.
Right.
So having that policy can help you, particularly if maybe it's not just your wallet and your passport, maybe it's your entire backpack.
Exactly.
And for us, I mean, that would be laptops. That would be obviously camera equipment.
Right.
That'd be really expensive. So, if you do have some kind of coverage, make sure you do get in touch with that insurance company and see. Sometimes there's even an option to get like emergency cash in a situation like this. Again, another reason to have a police report.
Right.
Because I'm sure you would have to have that to prove it. So check your insurance policy, stay calm, just work through the steps, and you will get through it and probably go on to still have a fantastic trip.
Yes.
So if you guys have any more questions about this, or if maybe somebody thinks we missed a step, leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think we missed or what your questions are. We will do our best to answer it. Thankfully, we haven't been through losing everything, but we have been through the process of phone and credit cards and driver's license.
Right.
So we'll answer that as best we can. Also, if you think this video would be of interest or helpful to anybody you know, share the video. That really helps the channel out when you share it. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up.
Hit the subscribe button.
Don't forget to ring the bell.
Dingy dong.
So you'll be the first to know when we release new content. And just remember, until next time, y'all.
Live your best life.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.